Hi there, we are doing tip number 3 on my series School at Home during COVID-19. So I hope you found the other 2 tips to be helpful. Today we're talking about taking responsibility and living together and the need to take responsibility. So one of the impacts that is going to happen because everyone's staying at home is that there are more people using more stuff for more hours of the day than maybe you used to have. And that basically means more mess, unless there's going to be more cleaning up. So that's what today's topic is going to be about. So as my kids have all left home, I'm finding myself with less housework to do because there's less people living in the house. So it only makes sense that if there's more people in the house, there's going to be more to do. So instead of feeling overwhelmed with all that there is to do, you can take this as an opportunity to teach your kids life skills. So living together is an opportunity to teach them life skills, not only for caring for themselves, but caring for each other, which is why I really encourage chores to be done as a family rather than individuals looking after their own stuff. There's 2 aspects. You have to look after your own stuff, like your own toys, your own bed, your space in your bedroom, your own personal hygiene, all that kind of stuff. But then there's the side of it that we're looking after things as a family. We live in this house together, so we're going to look after things as a family. And as you do that, you increase your kids' awareness that they now have the skills to look after other people, which is something I certainly wanted my kids to take into their adult life. One of the first things I noticed when we started homeschooling was this extra time I had because I was no longer rushing out the door. I was leaving the house at around 7:30, and once we started homeschooling, we then had till about 8:30 to focus on getting the house done so that we could enjoy time together for the rest of the day. And that's exactly the situation that you guys are in now that you're schooling at home. You don't have to rush out the door to catch a bus or to get to school on time. So you will have, some extra time that you will be able to focus on getting your kids to help you with doing chores. So some of the first chores that kids can do when they're little is they can make their beds, pick up their toys, put their dirty clothes where dirty clothes go, and put their clean clothes in the right place. But kids can do so much more than that. They can also clean the bathroom, do the dishes, take out the family rubbish. They can do the laundry or aspects of the laundry. They can dust, vacuum, wipe down, mop if they're big enough. They can look after pets. They can water pot plants. So really, there's a lot that kids can do and they can start doing those things building up right through to the teenage years. So probably by the time they're 13 or 15, they should be able to do everything that you can do in maintaining the home. So when my kids were home, we had chore time 3 times a day. After breakfast, after lunch, and before dinner. Now, before breakfast, they had their personal responsibilities to look after their own self, like making their bed and getting dressed. But then after breakfast, after lunch, before dinner, were our family household chores. So there are many ways that you can roster your kids on to do chores. I'm not going to go into that today, but message me if you need some help in working out how to roster. But I really do encourage you to roster because it's a way of giving your kids the responsibility of doing the chores without waiting for your instruction 3 times a day. So if you create the time 3 times a day, for example, to do the chores, and then they know what chores they have to do, then they can show initiative to do that. And you won't be so needed. And in doing that, you're teaching them responsibility. So if you feel that you need to up the chores that your kids are doing, then there's a very easy process to go through. It's 4 steps. 4 steps that you need to take regardless of what you're teaching your kids to do. The first one is to model. So show your kids how to do the particular chore. Take one chore and show them how to do it. Then you teach them how to do it. Put words to your actions. Teach them what you're thinking and why you're doing it this way, so that they have an understanding of what needs to be done and why doing it this way is working for you. So you model it, showing them, then you teach them, give them the instructions. The third one is to practice it, and they need to practice it with you watching, going over it and over it and over it. I found it took me about a week to teach my kids to do one chore and to do that chore well. And so initially we would model it, show them, we would teach them, and then I would get them to practice it with me watching. Each day that they would practice it, I would be able to step a little bit further away, giving them less reminders, less encouragement, until they got it. And then once they got it, it was then their responsibility to do it without me watching them anymore. And that's when I could really expect them to do it. But I did expect them to report back to me and tell me that they had finished the job, and I would go and inspect it. And when I inspected it, I had to be honest. If it wasn't done up to scratch, if it wasn't done up to the standard that I expected of that child, then I would get them to tweak it or to do it over. And that's a part of the training process. So 4 steps: show it, model it, teach it, practice it, and expect it. And if you go through that process with one job and one child at a time, then your kids will learn how to look after the home, how to look after their stuff, how to look after other people and their things, and your family will then have the time to enjoy being home together, whether you're doing schooling or whether you're having family fun together. So tomorrow we're going to talk about that balance between doing school at home and being a family, living at this time where things are a little bit more stressful than normal. So join me again tomorrow and we'll talk about that. But until then, let me know if you're going to up the chores in your family since you're all at home at the moment. See you later. Bye.